Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Girl Talk, the space where we highlight powerful women who are creating an impact, breaking barriers, and inspiring the next generation of leaders. And today's guest is truly someone who embodies that. I am so excited to be joined by Alex Meruelo, founder of the inaugural Business of Her conference in Las Vegas and Chief Vision and Purpose Officer of the Meruelo Group, the company behind the Sahara Hotel. Alexis is on a mission to empower women in business, elevate the importance of mentorship, and open doors for the next wave of female entrepreneurs and executives. Let's dive in. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Okay, me too. So I have my first question. What sparked the idea for the Business of Her conference? And was there a particular moment where you realized women need a platform like this?
Ooh. I think for me personally, I am a conference junkie. Going to so many different conferences has taught me so much about the power of being in the right room. And yet so many women don't have access to being in these types of rooms. And I think I hit a point when I really figured out what it was that I wanted to do in this life, and I'm talking like soul mission, soul purpose, is when I gave myself permission to create and to do something about it. So for me, this has been a culmination of all the conferences I've been to, all of the work, all of the inspiration, all the tidbits, and I just kind of put it all together and decided to create an event in a space for not only women in their careers, but young girls to come and to learn and to be in a room where you typically wouldn't be. And so that's kind of why and how it happened.
So tell our listeners, break it down. What is the Business of Her conference?
So it is a one-day conference on a Saturday, so you don't have to take away time from work, from 11 to 5. So you could sleep in and come and join us for different panels of really empowering and incredible leaders across all different industries for you to be able to sit and learn from their wisdom, their leadership, their stories, and also community build with like-minded women. So it's a twofold, right? And I think that's how I really set the stage for Business of Her. The first thing I said when I said I welcome is I want two things from everyone in this room. And these two things are going to be the things that you leave with today. One is a clear path on what you're going to do when you leave here. So what's your next step? What is that next step in your career that you're going to take? And number two is I want you to leave with a sense and a knowing that there's people behind you that are going to support you when you leave this room. And they're in here today, right? With a community of people that you know that are going to be there. So those are my two things of when you're leaving, this is what we're going to be offering you.
Absolutely. Amazing. So you're in a powerful leadership position as a Latina in a major industry. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced? And how do you stay grounded in your purpose through those challenges?
I actually just got off a mentorship call with a young girl who goes to UNR, and she was expressing to me some of the challenges and obstacles she's facing herself. And I saw a lot of her in my own story, but I think, even for this conference, right? I had people tell me that this conference was a bad idea. I had people tell me that it was going to be an embarrassment and a detriment to our brand, that if I didn't have over 800 people, it was going to be a failure. It's going to be really hard for me to sell tickets. And you know what? For a couple weeks, I was like, maybe they're right. But here's the thing. Something deep inside me, my gut was like, I think you should do it anyways. Because the one thing that person, I completely disagreed with that person was, if I don't have 800 people, it's not going to be a success. But to whose definition of success? Because my definition of success would be if I impacted one person. Right? If it was one person, 20 people, 50 people, right? Like to me, that's all that mattered. And so to me, every girl mattered. So I had to do it regardless of who showed up because I felt called to do it. And I think it's a great lesson for other women. If you are getting a lot of pushback or people telling you you're a failure or it's not going to work out or whatever, well, you know what? I'd rather you die trying on the thing that you love than to always look back and wonder what if, or to have regret in not trying, or regret in at least not putting yourself out there and doing that thing. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, I got chills because my saying is when I do my workshops, if I can impact just one person, then my job is done. So the fact that you said that really goes to show that when you are empowering someone, when you have the best intentions behind it, it doesn't matter how many people go. It doesn't matter what other people think. It matters your impact. And at the end of the day, that definitely showed with your conference. So the conference does include panels. shops, networking opportunities, and that $10,000 grant. How do you decide what elements were essential to truly support the women that were coming?
So when I was planning the programming of it, it was very intentional. Every speaker, every panel, every question, everything was curated by yours truly. And the reason was because I had already heard a lot of these women speak before. And every single one of them, after I heard them, I went straight up to them and I was like, you need to come. That story moved me. I know it's going to move other women, right? And so that was kind of like my litmus test of like, if I heard someone and it really hit home with me, it was somebody that I wanted to bring to the table. But beyond that, I think it was really important for me to have different industries represented, that it wasn't just financial, that it wasn't just sports. It had to be a culmination of everything, because no matter what background you came from, I wanted for everyone to be able to sit in that room and see themselves and at least one person on the stage. And that was very intentional. That was very, very intentional. I didn't want people to walk away being like, it didn't really resonate, or it was all too financy or whatever. No. You could find and resonate with at least one person on that stage.
I love that you catered to everyone. And as you're realizing, women come from all different backgrounds, even if it is sports, and challenging those spaces that, they might traditionally not be welcomed in. And that's amazing. So we've talked a lot about mentorship. You spoke that you do have a mentor. What role has mentorship played in your journey, and how can young women find mentors like you or anyone who genuinely believe in them?
I'm going to actually tell you guys a story about this, and this is one that I've shared on stage, but also it's one that I think will really hit home as to what mentorship means. So I'll never forget it. Last year, but maybe like 2 years ago, I got to meet a really influential female in business. And I'll never forget, I went up to her, we chatted, we connected. She gave me her cell phone number and she said, I'd love to help you. Call me whenever, text me whenever. You guys, months went by. And months went by, I never reached out. And somebody that had connected us said, hey, did you ever reach out to so-and-so? And I said, nope. And they're like, why? And I go, well, she's running an empire. She's got so many kids. She must be so busy. I don't want to bother her. And in that moment I went, oh my God, I know why all those girls I gave my number to never called me back. It was in that moment I went, oh my God, I get it. Now I understand. You tell yourself all these things, but here's the truth. You can't say no for somebody else when it comes to mentorship. You always have to ask. And at least give them the opportunity to say no, or give them the opportunity to not respond. But you never know. You never know what they're going to say. And not only that, by you not asking for a mentor, you not asking for guidance or for support, you're taking the opportunity away from them to help someone, right? And so I think it's so easy for us to be like, oh, mentorship doesn't work. It's just a coffee chat, it's something. But here's the thing. It's like, it's whatever you both want to put into it, right?
Absolutely.
And if you both want to make it some facade coffee chat, fine. But if you both really care and you both really want to see it through, that person's, whatever it is that they want to do, you're going to help them do it, then it'll happen, right? It'll happen. And so mentorship for me is everything, not only just because I have the gift and the capacity to help hundreds of women, but also what they teach me in return, because you just never know. And so many of my mentees have changed my life, have inspired me to think differently, have told me, wait a second, you don't even know what you have no idea, right? So I think it's crucial. And the numbers show, right? The numbers show. I think women who have mentors are 5 times, 10 times more likely to get raises, have their voice, have their name put out in a room when you're not there, have the confidence to be able to speak up because someone's going to be supporting you. All those things play a factor, whether you're a business owner or whether you are in corporate America. Either way, having people on your side is always going to help you get to where you want to go. Nobody can do anything alone. So I think it's crucial. If you don't have someone that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, how do I do this interview? How do I prep for this? If you don't have, please go ask. Go make some asks. Go make some phone calls. I promise you the responses will probably surprise you. Promise.
Absolutely. And I always think too, sometimes when it comes to mentorship or anything or reaching out, I'll talk to my mom and I'm like, I'm just too nervous. And she always says, no, the answer is no until you ask. The answer is no already. If you ask and you get a no, it's okay. But if you get a yes, it's the cherry on top. So I could not agree with you more. You think that you're bothering them, but the fact that they are reaching out and wanting you to is everything.
Yep. Yep, agreed.
So as someone who wears multiple hats, you're a founder, executive, and creative visionary. What does balance look like for you? I know this can be hard. And what advice do you have for young women who are trying to juggle so many different hats like you do?
So I think for me, it's about priority. And when you look at your day, you think, what is it that you're trying to accomplish that day? And there's going to be different answers for every day, right? Or every week or every season of life. And so for right now, for example, take me, for example, my priority is helping as many women and girls as I can to not only get into power, but to find their own power wherever they're at. And so for me, everything else is on the wayside, right? Like dating might be on the back burner, or taking trips or doing things might be on the back burner. But for right now, my number one priority, drop hats for everything, is this. And so my advice would be, ask yourself, what is your priority right now? Is your priority getting through school? Is your priority getting a job? Is your priority having marriage, kids, and family? What is your priority? And then focus on that, right? Because we can only do so many things in a day. Don't get overwhelmed feeling like, because I have a job, but I'm not married, I'm a failure. Or, oh, because I am married, but then I'm falling back on work, I'm a loser. Like, none of those things are true. It's really just about what you want in that season or in that moment of life, and go for it and measure success based off of your own version of success, not everyone else's. So again, it's easy to fall into the Instagram comparison trap. It's easy to think that you're not living up, or you're all these things. None of that's true. The only thing that's true is you, and what you see, what you want for yourself, what you see for yourself, and what you want to put out into the world. Like, that's what's success. That's what's true. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I agree. I think that's a really powerful message of just determining what your priority is and what is most important for you in life, because no one else runs your life but you. So at the end of the day, you're the one living it, and you have to be happy with it. I could not agree more. So to wrap up all of this, for young women listening who want to dream, or they just want to build something big, whether it's a business, a brand, or career, what is the first step they need to take?
Okay. Be very clear on what it is. Very clear. What is it? And write it down. Like, what is it? Right? Because you can't start or build a plan or get people along with you unless you're crystal clear on exactly what is it you want to achieve. So first thing, I would always say to my mentees when I have a call, 2 questions. My first question, what is it you want to achieve? And the second question is, what's holding you back? Because if we can actually honestly answer those 2 questions, I know for a fact we will get it done. We will get it done, whatever it is you want to do. So really, really important to be very crystal clear. If it's a job you want, if it's a TikTok brand you want to start, what is it? And then develop the steps on how to get there. But if you don't have a very crystal clear plan, it's not going to get done. And a dream is just a dream. A dream is just a dream without a plan. Like, you need a plan. So
absolutely. It's hard to help people believe in you as well, even if it's for funding, for a loan. Like, if you want to go into a bank and get a loan, you have to be crystal clear with your intentions. So it basically counts for everything else, I'm assuming you're saying. So that's it. But thank you, Alexis, for joining us today and for sharing your wisdom, your heart, and your mission to uplift women everywhere. Conversations like this are exactly why Girl Talk exists. It reminds us that with the right mentors, the right community, and the right belief in ourselves, anything is possible. Thank you so much, Alexis.
Yay!